MTB Dan 85, welcome. Just getting set up. It's going to be a fairly low-key one this evening, probably about an hour. Going to be doing a bit of drawing and also having a look at what I've been doing over the last few days. But anyway, good to see you. Good to see anyone else who might be joining us. I can't see the chat at the moment. Let me just turn the music down. So, MTB Dan 85, how am I feeling? Oh, a lot better, thanks. Yeah, it's like a weird, don't know what it was. It was like a coldless cold. Very strange. Just very run down and a bit under the weather, but definitely feeling better. So, thanks for asking. Okay, so, as I mentioned, this is going to be fairly low-key. It may just be me and you. Who knows? Who knows? I'm going to go on regardless. Let's get into doing some drawing. I've got like a drawing on the go. I thought I'd just show you just what I've been up to, and then we'll see where we go from there. So I'll just check to see if there's anyone else. It is just me and you, mate. So there might be some other people watching on the other channel. I don't know. So if anyone is watching on my main channel, then welcome. Yeah, good deal. Missed you all too, matey. Thank you. Thanks for the kind comments. I might just go and just double check before we get going. Just see if anyone is on the other channel, if I can see it. But I don't think I'm going to be able to have a look because I'm doing this on my iPad. I don't have my computer. So apologies to folks who are watching on the Jason Etienne chill stream. It's a bit of a low-key one tonight. Probably going to do about an hour and do a bit of drawing, review the sketchbook and see where we go from there. Is it going to allow me? If it's not going to allow me, I'm just going to get on with it, actually. I think I might just do that. So apologies to anyone else who's watching in the other chat. I'll respond to your comments afterwards, if there are any. And let's get into it. So, what have I been up to? Well, apart from being a little bit poorly, I mean, you know, I've not been like badly. It's just got a bit of a bug. I think it started on Friday, and then sort of continued over the weekend. So not a big deal. Feeling better, and certainly as we get further into the week, certainly the weekend, I'm going to be chipper. I know. Right. So let's get into it. So it's probably easier if I just hold this up to the camera. So when we last met, where did I get to? Let's have a quick look. Right, so MTB Dan, you'll recall that little illustration that I did based on a prompt from your good self, and then sort of developed it. I was really happy how that turned out. I've still got to paint it. And then after that, I had a birthday and a visit from my other brother, and then I got into do it a bit. But this is where I think I just started feeling a bit under the weather, so I was just mainly just drawing in my living room. Did this character, it was kind of like, I don't know, how would you describe it? Did I draw Vax? Oh, forgive me, I can't. Vaxi Sharon. I beg your pardon, I can't, I'm quite close to the phone. Yes, I did draw all of these. These are, MTB Dan will probably fill you in, but I do these, try and make like daily streams, if not every other day. This one I still to finish. That was the painting that MTB Dan will recall. Vax is here right now, welcome Vax. That's when I started, I've still got to finish that. But these are a series of basically ink drawings that I do. Try and do, like I say, a few times during the week a live stream, and a mixture of traditional ink drawings and also a bit of watercolor as well. So whole bunch of things. Inspirations are artists like Mobius, who you may or may not be familiar with, but also I love things like 19th century lithograph type illustrations as well. I love all that kind of stuff as well. So they've been big, big inspirations. I'll probably do like a little kind of, grand tour of the sketchbook as we get towards the end of the stream. But I shall really, tonight is going to be just showing what I've been up to so far. Just to recap, I've been a little bit under the weather over the weekend, but definitely better now. So this is what I've been doing really between like Friday and now. Did this guy who was this kind of like futuristic kind of martial, some kind of Western type thing with big cannon. This one I did. I've been doing these time-lapse drawings, or drawings and inkings, and I've been uploading them onto YouTube, uploading them onto Instagram, and also TikTok. I created like a TikTok account, so go and check me out on there as well. That's Jason Etienne Art. Been getting loads of views. Like this one got like over 1,500 views, which is pretty amazing. I think that's the most I've got for my shorts, but this one did really well. Lots of positive responses, and yes, welcome to Vax. Welcome to the channel. And this was kind of like, I was watching the film, the original Alien, and I kind of did this inspired by that. Again, that's a lot of these I've done as time lapses on YouTube. I was quite happy how that turned out. So these are just more like just pen and ink. This one I got quite a few. I got again like over 1,000 views on this and loads of likes on this on YouTube. I did like a time lapse of that as well. I was quite happy with that. I wasn't entirely happy with how it turned out, but I had lots of positive responses. But anyway, I was quite happy with that. This one I did yesterday. I called her Cyber Queen. And I really like, one of the most favourite parts of this, I like kind of, it's almost like a headgear is almost like some kind of V8 engine. Which I quite liked, but oddly enough, the bit that I really liked was her garment, a sleeve, like this, the shoulder and all that. I really liked it. I don't know. I liked how the material came out. MTV Dan 85. I have an idea for a drawing. We'll certainly jot it down and we'll have a look at it. Anyway, I quite liked her. This dude I quite liked. Again, it was almost like going back into the what was it, the Ghostbusters thing, but this time medieval. So I kind of had this. Let me just show you the drawing, but this again, just a little insight into how I come up with these ideas. I usually do thumbnails. So, for example, you can see like for the female character there, I did this kind of like thumbnail sketch, just penned over, and then I sort of commit to doing that. But that dude, the medieval dude, I just kind of do it in thumbnail. So just for scale, like that's my hand. So it's a little kind of like thumbnail sketch that I do. Mainly just evolves from form, and then I might look at some reference online if something I'm unsure. Like for example, like I know how to do a Cooper's cask, but I might look at stuff like that. Or might even look at some, costumes, illustration. But generally, I'm just doing it from the hip. But I start thinking about, all right, you've got this kind of medieval character, is like a Ghostbuster. And again, I quite like this idea, again, of, exploring that kind of Ghostbusters idea. It's got this kind of Cooper's cask, but then this time around, because there's not really a lot of technology, so they're relying on like alchemists to come up with some idea. So this idea that the cask would be like the repository for these spirits, and then the gun would be like almost like a blacksmith's bellows, but then working on some form of kind of magic or alchemy or whatever it is. And then it's kind of got this hat, and then basically I'd take it from that and then sort of develop it further. Again, looking at some like a bit of reference online, like like chainmail, things like that. But that's generally how it evolves. I might change it here and there. But I was quite happy. His little winkle pickers as well, I was quite happy with that. MTV Dan 85, I'm thinking a big portrait with people looking at it, waiting, people looking at it, because I'm so close to the phone, waiting for something to come through, but you could do it in a cave of some sort, but a big swirling circle of mystery. I think this idea is stay along the theme, MTB Dan, a theme of the Ghostbutters. Could be something like that. I did have this idea of, you know, something happening in like either like a medieval or what was it, Victorian living room or something. I think that's kind of what you might be alluding to. I quite like the idea of that. Just create like a little sort of scene. Anyway, definitely hang on to that idea. This one I just started. I'm actually going to do this on a bigger page. This is going more into the Victorian thing, but this idea of doing like a Victorian worker with big mech arms. I'll show you the sketch before I get to it. Where is it? There we are. So I had this idea here of doing like a sort of worker, factory worker, but he's got these big extended robot arms. You might see similar stuff online, but I had this idea anyway, but like folding into my mythology, but it'd be on like a backpack. And again, I was kind of thinking like I could do something like that. This is, anyway, that's the one I'm going to sort of work on. This one, again, that was a thumbnail from an idea I had of this kind of like beautiful woman who's kind of just leaning over. She's like on a cliff. So where I live in Matlock, there's a place called High Tor, which you can see from my house, and it's there's a big, lots of rock climbers go there, and had this idea of this kind of giant just walking along, and this woman just kind of reaching out to him. So I had this kind of, you know, I had the idea yesterday, and then I decided to, again, turn it into this. So again, it's borrowing from the kind of like that 19th century lithographic kind of, you know, ink drawing, like almost like children's book illustration type thing. And she's leaning over the edge, and this gentle giant's coming along. And just curious, really, you know, so unlike probably like a lot of giants, he's very gentle. He's not a monster or anything. And I quite like how that turned out. A lot of the clothing as well. I'm really loving the more I'm using my inks, I'm finding that I'm starting to get a bit more creative with it, which I'm really enjoying. So that was that. But like I say, this was going to be the page tonight, but I decided to prime another couple of pages, and I'm going to do the sketch of this character on that page. We'll see how I get on. If I get sort of a little bit tired of doing the drawing, I might do a bit of inking of something. I don't know. We'll see anyway. Anyway, enough talking. And let's get into it. So, again, very low-key tonight. Where MTB Dan 85, where did I get that drawing book from? Are you talking about this one, or are you talking about the main sketchbook? This is just some local art shop. I think it's this. Or it might have been at the uni. There might be having a sale at the uni. It's quite good. It's a... what is it? 300 GM, £140, whatever that means. But it's like you could do like watercolours in it and stuff like that. So I usually do my thumbnails in here, if that's the one you're talking about. And some other ones there. It's just really good for thumbnails. You get some nice textures as well. Oh, the main one, that's it's Moonster. You'll find them online. It's a company called Moonster. That's M-O-O-N, as in moon, S-T-E-R, Moonster. And they do handmade pages. That's what I've been using. I did approach them, oddly enough. I've not heard back from them. I just, because I've been like really enamoured with the sketchbook. I thought they might be interested. I've not heard back from them yet though, but I imagine they're very busy. Moonster, that's correct. Yeah, Moonster. Anyway, let's get into do a bit of drawing. I'm not sure who else is watching. It might just be me and you, or Vax if they're still around. If they're not around, then it might just be me and you. Let's have a look. I'm just going to check the chat. Bum, 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 bum. We've got about 9 people watching, so welcome everyone. Welcome. Going to be doing a bit of drawing tonight. I might show you a little bit more of the sketchbook if you want to stick around. It's entirely up to you. It's going to be a bit of a chilled stream tonight. So I'm just working from that drawing there, and away we go. So I'm going to start. So I'm a bit of a weird angle here, so we'll see how this works out. Because I've got the camera. I might do a combo of a little bit of drawing and a bit of inking. I think the inking helps sometimes just to sort of define the drawing. So we'll see. I'll start off with his face. So it's based on this little character here. So the idea is this is kind of some kind of alternate reality Victorian factory worker, I guess. But he's got these big kind of mech arms strapped to his back. We'll see how it works out, eh? Of course, if you want to ask any questions, feel free. I'll try and answer them. Aiming at this being, we're a little bit late started today, so probably finish around about, say, 6:30-ish, something like that. So all I'm doing at the moment is so I want this guy to have like a cloth cap. The kind that you'd find at the turn of the century. I always tend to kind of start off with the face because I think it just helps to establish the trajectory and also for scale as well. So we'll just focus on the face. Let's see if we can I zoom in? So if we can zoom in just so you can see a bit more detail on that. Try and move that down. There we go. MT, well, I'll call you, yes, Dan. You've had quite a few watching you tonight. Currently on 16, but you've gone up to 23. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome. If there's got 23 people watching, you're most welcome. I'll be going through the rest of my sketchbook in a bit. We can have a look if you stick around. If not, thanks for dropping by, and you'll be able to see the video in its entirety anyway a little later on. But if you look through all my other videos, you'll be able to see me going through my sketchbook as well. I've been calling you like MTB Dan probably for the last 3 weeks, haven't I? And it is a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? So, yeah, Dan. It's like with James, isn't it? You know, it's a bit easier. Just calling you by your Christian name. Right. I might... Shall I risk it? I might just go in with a bit of ink. I think just to... It's mainly to just try and set the tone. Let's go in with, where are we? Just find my pen, wherever it is. There we are. Right. Let's try a bit of inking in. Let's live dangerously and go straight in with the inks. Right. So again, I don't usually kind of ink in this soon, but I just wanted to just sort of establish the head at least. And then I'll probably just continue penciling it in. Okay. Right, I might just zoom out a little bit now, just so you can start to see the rest of the body being drawn. So I'm going to go back to just trying to concentrate now on the actual form of the character. So the idea is this kind of like mech, Victorian mech, I guess you could call it that. You've got Victorian mech arms. He's got these straps. Which is basically like it's like a harness really. Whether we'll complete this or not is another matter, but at least it just kind of sets the ball rolling. Right. They're almost like dungaree. Well, they're like work overalls really, but they've kind of got like a built-in sort of strap. And obviously we've got the folds in the fabric, which we'll come round to. Like I said, we've got these parts here. Now the arm. So again, just to kind of like that's kind of what we're working from. So I'm trying to just do like a sort of cleaned up version of that. So I'm maybe going to have this starting on the other, because I think it's going to be too big for one page. So the idea is that this is kind of, let me smooth this over a little bit. In fact, let me zoom out just a little bit more. Oops, if it lets me. There we go. So we've got his main arm, which is going to be tricky to do because it's falling right smack bang in between these two pages. So we got these kind of folds of his worktop. Now we've got that coming onto the other page, like so. And then not sure about the angle of that. I think the shoulder's about there, and then it kind of comes out. That's more like it. And then he's got these massive robot arms. Then we've got some kind of wiring, or given everything was kind of steam powered, if it's kind of like steampunk, you know, something like that kind of going on. And then maybe something like that. Trying to get those kind of mech hands there. Let's move that into view just so you can see what I'm trying to draw. Little Rick, hey, Little Rick's back. So I'm just looking at the comments. Oops. See, this is the danger when I touch the phone. Let's see if we can have a look at my iPad instead. I don't want to mess up the camera. Little Rick, welcome, Little Rick. Good to see you back. Dan, my favourite, foxes are my favourite animal. Love to see you draw. Love to see you draw person in a really snowy environment with a fox as a hat and tail wrapped around his neck for warmth. That could be interesting. Yeah. So like like a companion. That could be interesting. I was thinking you could start your own email for people to email you pictures to rate out of 10. That could be an interesting idea. Oddly enough, I thought, I've got slight mixed feelings about Discord, but I did wonder about maybe even starting a Discord channel. I know some other YouTubers do it. I've done it with my students before in the past. That would probably need to be moderated. I think if we did a Discord channel, definitely moderated. But an email list would be fantastic. Maybe something like I could create a link for people to upload their emails to, or they could just email me directly, and I'll start something like that. It's a good idea, though. Yes. Dan, Discord will be is fine. It'll be good. I think it's just like there was a kind of. Do I get into it? It was just a bit of a. I think it's really good. I mean, I've got Discord, but we had it for our students during COVID, and it all went a bit weird. And but we didn't have anyone moderating, so I think if we had people such as your good self and others who moderated it, it might go a bit better. It could just be a bit like the Wild West, because a lot of gamers use it, obviously, and they'll be coming in from, just playing COD, and then there'll be some fruity language and things like that, and it's like, no, just for teaching, it's not great. It's not great. Because I think it's just people are in that kind of mode where it's just a little bit al fresco, as it were. So I think if it was moderated, then Discord could be really cool, actually. And also, Discord will be good because you can then use that as a little forum, even when I'm not there. And I could potentially do, not sure if you can do simultaneous live streams on there, but certainly you can put work on there, other people can put work on there, and I can give a bit of feedback as well. That could be good. But anyway, food for thought. How are we doing? So yeah, thanks for everyone for dropping by. It's really nice to see everyone. And if anyone's new here, of course, welcome. It's going to be a fairly low-key stream tonight. I've caught a bit of a bug over the weekend, so I'm not in my little studio setup at the moment. I'm just in the old living room with my drawing board. So yeah, low key is the word. What if those hands need to be bigger? I've got a feeling that hand needs to be a little bit bigger, It's because I'm talking. As much as because I really like the drawing on that, but I'm loath to kind of draw out, but I think that hand just needs to be bigger, just for impact. So I'm just going to redo that. But yeah, Discord could be good. I think that's probably what I'll do on the next stream. I'll set it up first, and then I'll put I don't know how I'm going to do this actually. I guess you'll have to put if you don't have an account, you can maybe create an account, if people don't have an account, and then they can add you to the Discord. And I think, Dan, you'd need to moderate it, either you or James when he's around, and just make sure that it's all kept clean. Actually, I think that thumb needs to be a little bit further down. I think I'm going to give the robot hand, 3 well, 4 fingers. But I think mailing, you know, like emailing anyway, I think is also a good thing. As well as something like that. And then the thumb. Let's make a bit of space. I think the hands just needed to be a little bit bigger. So if I can zoom in a little bit, just so you can see it. Something like that. And some kind of yeah, I think it's looking all right. Let's zoom out a little bit then and move over. And then we'll do the other arm. Cheers, little Rick. That is very kind of you. Dan, I'll be very honoured to moderate your Discord. I will keep it in check for you. Thanks, Beatty. Well, you know, it's great. We've got our little gang now, haven't we? So it's great to see you looking out for us. And yeah, I think the Discord will probably be like a natural, you know, like I say, I could have, we had it. I'm not going to say too much, obviously, because just for reasons, but when we ran it, it just, let's just say it didn't work out too well during COVID. I think because it just wasn't, we weren't able to moderate it. And I think if it's moderated, I think it's fine. If it can be moderated, I think it'll be a blast, because it's great doing the YouTube streams, but then communication ceases, doesn't it? Because unless, of course, you know, you guys have swapped, you know, emails and all that, you're sort of restricted. So it allows a little bit of a life outside of the streams for you to kind of stay connected. And I think that's ultimately a good thing. Right. So what I want to do with this arm, I don't want his arm just, I'll see how we get on. I didn't want his hand just doing that on the same side. What I wanted is the robot arm, excuse me, oh, tired. I wanted the robot arm to be having like, holding like some wrench or something or other. like he's just been doing some work. So we'll see how we get on with that. But of course, then we can't ignore his other shoulder. I started morphing his shoulder into a robot arm then for a minute. So this arm here, his human arm, that's just going to be down pretty much similar to this one here. It's just going to be down by his side. Something like that. Something like that. And then I want that to kind of mimic that. So he's kind of got this thing going on there. But I want it to be bent. I have to figure this bit out. It's going to be something like this, is where it could get a bit tricky. Let me have a think about this. I'm going to have to think about this. So the arms come in like that, and it's got a slight, it's not like a big bend, but it's got like a slight bend. So it's going to be something like, now is that going to work? It's got to figure out the logistics of this. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely convinced. I'm not entirely convinced by that. Maybe if it's a bit more. This is when you deviate, you see. So I've got my thumbnail here. And this is always a bit of a risk. I'm almost tempted just to kind of keep it, because I quite like how that's turned out. And I think I'm tempted almost to keep it the same. If I start to deviate, I could end up getting into all kinds of trouble. This is why I do the thumbnails, just so at least I've got like a working idea of how the drawing's coming out. Kit Kats, welcome Kit Kats, welcome, welcome, welcome. Evening, evening, evening. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing well. So, well, I'm definitely feeling better, and I'll tell you what, for those of us who are in the UK, it's nice also to be getting lighter evenings. We've been living through the dark ages for the last goodness knows how many months. And now, what time is it? What time is it? 20 past 6, and it's still light outside. So I'm loving that. Right. So we've got something like that going on. I'm not sure about that bit either. I might just take those bits out. Okie dokie. So, got that big piece there. Then we got another bit there. So Kit Kats, we were just talking about starting a Discord channel. I could start it. I think Dan, excuse me, I keep yawning, sorry. Dan might be moderating it. And have that as a little kind of forum to, if anyone wants to kind of share any work, but also it could like exist as a space outside of the you know, the YouTube channel. I thought it might be quite a nice thing to do. Right. So anyway, to be continued. We were just talking about having a you know, like exchanging emails and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, to be continued. I can't check the chat at the moment because I'm just doing a bit of drawing, but I shall have a look. Is that a bit smaller? I think that looks a little bit smaller. I've done it again. It needs to be bigger. I think the hand needs to be bigger. Not a big deal. Yeah, definitely needs to be bigger. What time did I say? So probably not. I did say around about 6:30, 6:40. Probably going to carry on a little bit longer. I want to at least just get at least the drawing part of this done, and then what I'll probably do then is just continue with doing like time lapse. So at least I've started it off. Right. So you're talking about The Lost Boys. I've not seen that film probably since, goodness, probably since the 90s. Okay, brilliant film though. Is it Jason Patrick, Kiefer Sutherland? Gosh, I can't remember who else is in it. They do these reunions, don't they? I think every other year. Something that's better. That's along the lines of what I was after. There we go. And got that there. And right, so with his, maybe I'll just put the wrench in his hand. I was going to have this like adjustable spanner. But I think what I might do is I might just literally have it. Could be something like that. Or just a spanner. Something like that. I'll figure out the details on that. And then we've got, again, we've got this big backpack strap thing going on. And then that. And then his other hand, I think will just be free. So I think so far that's not looking too bad, not looking too shabby. Oops, not looking too shabby. I'm going to, obviously I'm going to get a lot more definition. It'll really firm up when I've got some ink on there, but for the meantime, that's not looking too bad. Right. Ooh, we're getting a bit big with that hand. I'm getting a bit giddy. Getting a bit giddy. Again, I think my sense of scale, I think, is a bit off tonight. That's definitely should not be that big. Something like that. Something like that. All right. Dan looking good. Little Rick, love that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the kind comments. That's really appreciated as usual. Thank you very much. Let's have a look. Yes. Okay, that's grand. Thank you for all the thumbs up, folks. If anyone's watching this who isn't subscribed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out the rest of the videos on the channel. And I do try to aim, if not every day, every other day, where you can see similar stuff. I do stuff. I've not done any videos recently for, I usually do stuff like with Blender for my students. I've not done anything for a good few weeks now, a couple of weeks. So I'll probably be aiming to do a little something. But aside from that, it's mainly a lot of drawing. That seems to be the order of the day. Right. Now this bit's always a bit tricky. I'm aiming to do what they call foreshortening. So his knee is raising up, so you kind of get it in perspective, which means the thigh is shortened down, hence foreshortening. But then there's the creases. Now this bit, so this again, I'm deviating a little bit because on this one, I'm going to have him sort of stood sort of differently. So I'm just going to try this out. I could always rub it out. See if it works or not, I don't know. Again, classic as well. I'm running out of space to put any shoes or anything, whatever, so. But something's got to be sacrificed, and I'd rather do that than the other way around. So something like that could work. And then you got his boots. Boots, something like that. So it's kind of coming around, something like that. And again, his other kneecap. So there's his kneecap there. Just going to increase that crease a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to have to kind of just think on this one a little bit more, but generally speaking, then the kneecap will be around about there. And we'll have the folds. Yada, 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 something like that. And that'll kind of dissolve down to there. But that's not looking too badly. I would do for time. It's 6:30. It might be an idea, if I was to be wise, I'd probably like to start to wrap things up. I'm just looking at it from my angle. That, I'm looking at now, that could probably do with being a little bit bigger, to be honest. Either that or smaller, either or. I'm gonna have to think about that. And then also that leg, because I'm drawing at an angle, so it's like almost like anamorphic. But anyway, but that's that. So let's just do the usual thing now and just kind of do a recap of. So I'm going to continue with that. I'll probably do a slight reworking with some of the limbs. Well, not the the limbs on the robot thing, and with the character a little bit. I'll see anyway. I'll see. But anyway, I'm generally happy with that. Let's have a look and see what I've been doing over the past few days, over the weekend. So did this, let me just bring it up to the camera. So this one I did, I think I finished it last night. And again, sort of inspired by like 19th century ink drawings and this idea of this just beautiful woman leaning over this kind of cliff edge, and this giant happens to be walking by, and she's just kind of being cheeky and just kind of looking to sort of, prod his nose, and he's kind of curious. And again, a gentle giant, that's what I called it anyway. That one, that was going to be this one that I've done here, but I moved it over onto the other page. So I'll think about what I'm going to draw there. This one, I was saying earlier, I've been doing these time lapses. Whoops. I've been doing these time lapses. And just like shorts, like 30 seconds to a minute. I did this one the other night, and I think it got like well over 1,000. It was like sort of maybe 1,600 views or something, whatever, which is pretty, that's a lot for me on YouTube. People like to kind of see the general process. This guy was like a sort of medieval type Ghostbuster. Then we had this, what I call Cyber Queen. What's that Dan saying? Give him bigger mech arms. Yes, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give him bigger mech arms. I quite liked how she turned out. She's kind of got like what looks to be like a sort of V8 engine sort of strapped to her head. But as I was saying earlier, oddly enough, this is like one of my favourite parts of it. Just this bit with this garment just hanging over her shoulder. I really liked how that turned out with the fabric. Then I did. This one, this got a lot of views as well. I wasn't like massively thrilled how it turned out, but again, it got like, I think it got like over 1,000, well over 1,000 views. What's that, Little Rick? Subscribe and be one of us. One of us. Yes, be one of us. Be one of the tribe. But yeah, I liked his face. It almost looked sort of biblical. Kind of got that kind of vibe about it. But that was, I think I called that one Defender. I did this whilst I was watching the original Alien film. Again, I did a time lapse of this, which I thought worked out pretty good. And then this one got loads of views as well. I did a time lapse of this, again, kind of almost like medieval cyberpunk type character, and had lots of very nice comments about that, some positive comments. I did like how it turned out. I like the face on it. I made the hands a bit bigger. I'm not sure what's going on. They got like, maybe it could be one of those like hubba bubba pipes, or it could be something. And then they've got these like globules of something or other floating in, you know, above the hand. Anyway, I quite liked it. Kit Kats, it's finding your niche on YouTube. Chuffed for you. Oh, thank you, Kit Kats. Yeah, it was interesting because I think it's. I think I'm establishing a kind of niche. It's not quite fully formed, but I like the idea. Here's my thing. I had a title. I was walking my little dog this afternoon, and I like the idea of going back to the past, but then adjusting the past. Not exactly like, you know, Back to the Future, but, you know, that kind of thing of reimagining the past. And what was the title I had? The title I had was Past the Future. Past the Future, copyright. Past the Future. And that could be the title for a sketchbook. Mind you, I've already got an idea for the sketchbook that I'm going to be hopefully publishing later on this year. But I thought Past the Future, because it's like, you're almost like applying past to the future, if that makes sense. And also because the book as well, because the nature of this sketchbook, because it looks old. I've always done stuff like this where I've aged things up and made them look old, but at the same time kind of like done sort of futuristic things. So anyway, to be continued. But yeah, that was again a prompt. I've turned into like human AI. It was like a prompt from Dan to create a scene with pirates being attacked by a kraken. And I think this has definitely got to be one of my favourite pieces. I really liked how it turned out. I had a really nice time doing all the waves. Usually I try and curb the cross hatching, but I think it worked out really well with this. Really like that. So it's definitely like a standout one for me anyway. This one I'm still to finish. That's the one where like it almost went a bit south, but it actually turned out right in the end. I've just got to finish it off. Got to do this bottom part, but I think it turned out really well. Really liked it. Mad Max. This was Kit Kats. I think you suggested the Pike with the chainsaw. I've still got to watercolor that, so that'll be to be continued. And that one that you witnessed the other night, with the Gandalf type character approaching this, whoever it is, this tribesperson, whoever they are. Father and son walking through a giant's graveyard. We've got these old kind of like, these kind of like, almost like Nephilim or something or other. These kind of like just collapsed giants after a war. Imagine like what a giant's battlefield would look like. And then they're all just strewn over the like acres and acres and acres of land. And again, it's all a bit apocalyptic. And that one you saw the other day as well. Underwater, this deep sea diver being dragged underneath. This Ed Harris, alternate universe Ed Harris from the Victorian era being dragged down. But this time the aliens aren't friendly. And I could keep going, I could keep going. That one you saw, so I'll just skip through some of it. That one you saw the other day. Again, and that was a bit of art direction from Kit Kats with the colour. This is definitely another one of my favourite pieces. I really liked how it turned out with the paint. This one I was trying out my new paint. And I really like that one. It's definitely up there. And I liked how the watercolour allowed all the pen work to come through as well. That's what I'm trying to achieve, I think, with a lot of it. Like that one, if I just go back slightly, the one that I did, this one, I really enjoyed how that came out. But I want that to come out more like, more like, if I can find it, I've just had it, there we go. More like that. I'm a happy camper. So that's that. These ones you've seen already. Again, I love these. These are definitely some favourites. Fred Dibner. Really enjoyed those. Just lovely to do. Very nice. You know, very enjoyable. That was the kind of start of it, really. That was a good few weeks back. This kind of Dickensian type character, and he's got these weird claws. And again, this kind of Ghostbuster type character from the Dickensian era. I like his like brass tank, probably full of all kinds of things, and so on and so forth. And of course, I could keep going. I won't. I think I'm going to be wrapping this up shortly. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, that one's still a favourite as well. Love that one. I really like that one. The girl riding the whatever it was, griffin, sort of wingless griffin. And going back into the mists of time. Still one of my favourites, which I've already mentioned time and time again. If I can find it, where are you? Not the Kung Fu character. See if we can find it. Not that, not that. I think I'm getting close. There we go. This is still one of my favourites. And this is from weeks back. I mean, like probably like last month or a couple of months ago. And, you know, this kind of like these deep space miners. I'm not sure if you've ever seen a film called Outland. It's got Sean Connery. Kind of reminded me of that. Like, you know, like they're mining on some moon off Jupiter or some whatever. And they've all finished the shift and then they're just getting hammered. They go into some bar and then you've got this rusty old robot just serving drinks. And they've all got these like weathered faces. They should have retired a long time ago, but they just keep going because they need the cash or need the credits or whatever the currency is in the future. But yeah, it's still one of my favourites. Anywho, that is it for now. I'm going to wrap things up. I'm just going to check the comments before we do so. Let's make sure I'm not leaving anyone out. If people are watching on my other channel, I couldn't. This is on the Jason Etienne chill stream. Forgive me, I couldn't access the channel for some reason. I don't know why. So thank you for any comments that anyone's made. I shall have a look and answer them when I can. But other than that, I'm just going to go and check now. I'm just going to get my iPad and just have a quick check to see if I could spot anyone. Let's have a quick look before we wrap up. There we go. Oops, no. I've gone to someone else's live stream. Glad I caught the end. Take care, sir. Take care, Kit Kats. Yes, let's call it a wrap. I'll see if I can do another stream tomorrow or the day after. We'll see. But thank you for tuning in, folks. Thank you for everyone watching. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, comment and like. And I shall see you in the next one, folks. Have a lovely evening, morning, afternoon, night, or day, wherever you are. And I shall catch you in the next one. Okay, take care, folks. Bye for now.